The weekend started off badly for him. After a challenging qualifying session that saw him finish 19th on the grid, he had a mountain to climb on race day. Instead, Bortoleto persevered and ran a great race that showed skill, perseverance, and a sharp racing mind. As soon as the lights went out, the midfield was in chaos. Bortoleto swerved into the gravel, losing control of the pack as he tried to catch up. For a few seconds, it seemed as though his race might be over before it had ever begun. But the 19-year-old showed quick thinking. He kept the car alive, re-entered the race, and rejoined, despite the fact that he was now running last. About 40 seconds behind the next racer. It was then that Sauber took a chance. They called him into the pits after just one lap. At first, it seemed to be a mistake. He fell farther behind. But that ended up being the crucial point. The early stop forced Bortoleto to change tactics, and he proceeded on one of the most incredible comeback runs by a rookie in modern history. Lap after lap, he started to reduce the gap. He drove steadily and showed excellent tire control, two skills that most inexperienced drivers struggle with. By the midway point of the race, Bortoleto had battled his way back into it. With 20 laps left, he was also closing in on his more experienced colleague, Nico Hülkenberg. As Bortoleto got closer to Hülkenberg, the radio came to life. His engineer warned him not to take unnecessary risks and to stay back, but Bortoleto wasn't holding back. With a calm, certain reply, "I can't stay behind, it's damaging my tires," he said. It was a strong moment. For someone who is only 2 races into their Formula One career, it showed not only his tenacity, but also his familiarity with the car and the race, which are unusual qualities. Sauber made the decision to trust him. Although Bortoleto didn't have to push in the end because Hülkenberg made a mistake and gave the place away, the fact that he had closed such a wide margin spoke the truth. He was able to pass and catch up to his colleague even though he started last and fell further behind after the first lap. It's not something you see every day. He finished in 17th position, so it wasn't exactly a highlight on paper. That was a noteworthy comment, though, considering his background. More remarkable than the result was the performance, which included consistent pace, smooth overtakes, clever racecraft, and comfort under pressure. After the race, Bortoleto didn't boast. Instead, he apologized to the crew for the first mistake. But his engineers were thrilled to see him again. The young Brazilian had turned what had looked like a calamity into something respectable, perhaps even defining for his career. In addition to being rapid, his drive was also intellectual. It proved that he could focus and remain composed in the demanding environment of Formula One. Bortoleto's return not only showcased his skill, but also raised a number of important questions about the Sauber vehicle. Throughout the season, the general consensus was that this automobile was too slow to be of any real use in combat. But in Bortoleto's hands, it seemed more capable than anyone had thought. Given his performance during the race, especially after the pit stop, it's possible that Sauber's current package has more to offer than people know. In addition to his speed, his consistent lap times showed that he was an expert at timing and tire management. It is vital in Formula One. A car may appear average on paper, but with the right handling and wise pit wall decisions, it could have surprising results. Bortoleto proved that in China, clearly the Sauber is not at the top of the field. There is something to work with, though, as shown by Bortoleto's handling of it on race day. Based on his ability to control tire wear, keep the car balanced, and make fewer mistakes in the second half of the race, he is a driver who can improve rapidly. And when a rookie can achieve it in a car that many had written off, it gives the team something valuable. Faith. Engineers may now have a better understanding of the car's current condition, thanks to Bortoleto's performance as the season goes on. His suggestions might potentially have an impact on Sauber's upgrade plan when paired with impressive performances. Because when a novice can get that much out of the car, it forces everyone to reconsider what is possible. Bortoleto's performance in China raises the possibility that he may be ahead of the curve for rookies, which goes beyond just one excellent race. The first season is usually spent by young drivers learning the ropes, becoming accustomed to pressure and avoiding major mistakes. but Bortoledo's quick recovery, calm manner, and steady tempo imply otherwise. If he can continue to reduce little errors like the first lap spin and control his tires and strategy like he did in Shanghai, points finishes won't be far off. Apart from showcasing his speed, his race against Hülkenberg also showed his maturity. The way he handled the team radio, obeyed instructions, and made decisions under pressure made him feel more like a veteran driver than a novice. It's not typical. Even some well-known rookies have had more difficulty adjusting. But it seems that Bortoledo doesn't need to be held all the time during each session. He takes in the data, makes decisions, and generates trustworthy results without needing a perfect vehicle below him. The emergence of a rising star who immediately exhibits resilience is refreshing to fans. A rough beginning did not scare him. Despite a 40-second gap, he maintained his motivation. Instead, he walked backward with his head lowered. That mentality is what separates the good from the great, especially in Formula One, where the mental side of racing is just as important as the physical. While Bortoledo was attracting attention with his return, another narrative was unfolding at the front, with one of Formula One's most experienced drivers making yet another bold bet. After winning the short race, Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton looked strong heading into Sunday. Hamilton chose to alter the framework instead of sticking with what worked, but the gamble didn't pay off. His tweaks, inspired by Leclerc's tests earlier in the season, turned the car from strong to unstable. The balance fell off, the grip disappeared, and the tempo slowed. After finishing 5th and 6th in the race, respectively, both Ferraris were disqualified due to technical issues. What could have been a pleasant weekend turned out to be a missed opportunity. Hamilton later said that the group tried several changes that weren't suitable for the circumstances. He denied altering the riding height to avoid detection, even though he admitted that their path didn't suit the track. "We thought it might work, it didn't." Hamilton had a history of failing at trying new things. Furthermore, it begs the more important question: should he keep taking these chances given the close margins? While that debate is going on, Red Bull is addressing its own problems. Rookie Liam Lawson has drawn criticism for his subpar performance, and rumors are now circulating that he could be replaced as soon as the next race. Former driver Ralf Schumacher said Yuki Tsunoda will take Lawson's place, potentially by the Japanese Grand Prix. Red Bull's history suggests that they don't wait long for findings. Even though nothing is confirmed, despite his promise, Lawson's future is uncertain because drivers like Hajar are waiting for their moment while Tsunoda is doing well. Lawson's predicament is comparable to Hamilton's. One has experience, the other is new. Both, though, remind us that nothing in Formula One is constant. Max Verstappen wasn't the only winner of this year's Chinese Grand Prix. Gabriel Bortoledo, a new name, made a big impression over the weekend, with a performance that demonstrated why he is regarded as one of the sport's most captivating young drivers. The Sauber rookie from Brazil attracted attention. He had a rough start to the weekend. He had a mountain to climb on race day after a difficult qualifying session in which he finished 19th on the grid. Rather, Bortoledo persisted and ran a fantastic race that demonstrated talent, tenacity, and a keen racing sense. The midfield was in a state of mayhem as soon as the lights went down. As he attempted to catch up, Bortoledo lost control of the pack and skidded into the gravel. It appeared for a brief moment that his race would be over before it had really started. However, the 19-year-old exhibited fast thinking. Even though he was now racing last, some 40 seconds behind the next competitor, he managed to keep the car alive, went back into the race, and rejoined. Sauber took a chance at that point. After only one lap, they called him into the pits. It appeared to be an error at first. He slipped further behind. However, that proved to be the pivotal moment. After being forced to alter his strategy due to the early halt, Bortoledo went on one of the most amazing comeback runs by a rookie in contemporary history. He began to close the distance lap by lap. He demonstrated exceptional tire control and drove smoothly, two qualities that most novice drivers find difficult. Bortoledo fought his way back into the race by the halfway point. He was also getting closer to Nico Hülkenberg, his more seasoned Teammate, with 20 circuits remaining. As Bortoleto approached Hulkenberg, the radio activated. His engineer cautioned him to keep back and avoid needless risks. Bortoleto, however, was not holding back. "I can't stay behind, it's damaging my tires," he replied calmly and confidently. That was a powerful moment. It demonstrated not only his perseverance but also his familiarity with the car and the race, which are uncommon traits for someone who is only 2 races into their Formula One career. Sauber decided to put his trust in him. Hulkenberg made a mistake and gave the seat away, so Bortoleto didn't have to push in the end, but the fact that he had closed the gap so much said volumes. Despite starting last and falling further behind after the first lap, he managed to pass and catch up to his teammate. You don't see that very often. It wasn't exactly a highlight on paper because he finished in 17th place. But given his history, that was a striking remark. The performance, which featured steady pace, seamless overtakes, astute racecraft, and comfort under duress, was more impressive than the outcome. Bortoleto didn't boast after the race. Rather, he expressed regret to the staff for the initial error. However, his engineers were overjoyed to see him once more. What had appeared to be a disaster had been transformed by the young Brazilian into something honorable, possibly even a career-defining event. He had an intellectual desire in addition to being quick. It demonstrated his ability to concentrate and maintain composure in the tough Formula One environment. In addition to demonstrating his talent, Bortoleto's return brought up some significant issues about the Sauber car. It was widely believed during the season that this car was too slow to be of any value in battle. However, it appeared more capable than anyone had imagined in Bortoleto's hands. Sauber's current package might have more to offer than most people realize, especially considering his performance during the race, particularly after the pit stop. His steady lap times demonstrated not only his speed, but also his mastery of timing and tire management. In Formula One, it is essential. On paper, a car can seem ordinary, but with the correct handling and smart pit wall choices, it could produce unexpected outcomes. In China, Bortoleto demonstrated that the Sauber is obviously not leading the field. However, Bortoleto's management of it on race day demonstrates that there is something to work with. He is a driver that can get better quickly based on his ability to manage tire wear, maintain car balance, and make fewer mistakes in the second part of the race. Additionally, the squad gains faith when a rookie succeeds in a vehicle that many had written off. As the season progresses, Bortoleto's performance may help engineers better comprehend the car's current state. When combined with strong performances, his recommendations may influence Sauber's upgrade strategy, because everyone is forced to reevaluate what is feasible when a novice can get that much out of the car, beyond a single outstanding race. Bortoleto's performance in China suggests that he might be ahead of the curve for rookies. Young drivers typically spend their first season learning the ropes, adjusting to pressure, and avoiding serious errors. However, Bortoleto's rapid recuperation, composed demeanor, and regular cadence suggest otherwise. Point finishes won't be far off if he can keep minimizing small mistakes like the first lap spin and manage his tires and strategy as he did in Shanghai. His race versus Hulkenberg not only demonstrated his speed but also his maturity. He felt more like an experienced driver than a rookie because of the way he operated the team radio, followed directions, and made choices under duress. It's not normal. It has been harder for even some well-known rookies to adjust. However, it appears that Bortoleto does not have to be held continuously throughout each session. He does not require a flawless vehicle beneath him. Instead, he absorbs the facts, makes decisions, and produces reliable results. Fans find it refreshing when a new star emerges who demonstrates perseverance right away. A difficult start did not frighten him. He stayed motivated even if there was a 40-second lapse. Instead, he bowed his head and walked backward. Particularly in Formula One, where the mental aspect of racing is equally as significant as the physical, that mindset is what distinguishes the good from the great. At the front, another story was developing as one of Formula One's most seasoned drivers placed yet another audacious wager, while Bortoleto was garnering attention with his comeback. Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton appeared to be in a strong position going into Sunday after winning the short race. Rather than staying with what worked, Hamilton decided to change the structure. But the risk was unsuccessful. The car went from being strong to unstable due to his modifications, which were motivated by Leclerc's tests earlier in the season. The tempo decreased, the grip vanished, and the equilibrium went away. Due to technical difficulties, both Ferraris were disqualified from the race after placing 5th and 6th, respectively. It ended up being a wasted chance for what could have been a fun weekend. According to Hamilton, the group made a number of adjustments that weren't appropriate for the situation. Although he acknowledged that their path wasn't appropriate for the track, he denied changing the riding height to evade detection. Hamilton had a habit of failing at new endeavors, as seen by his statement, "We thought it might work, it didn't." It also raises the more crucial question, given the narrow margins, should he continue to take these chances? Red Bull is dealing with its own issues while that debate is ongoing. Due to his poor performance, rookie Liam Lawson has come under fire, and there are now whispers that he might be replaced as soon as the next race. Lawson will be replaced by Yuki Tsunoda, possibly by the Japanese Grand Prix, according to former driver Ralf Schumacher. Despite the lack of confirmation, Red Bull's past indicates that they don't wait long for conclusions. Even though Lawson made a commitment, his future is questionable because Tsunoda is succeeding while drivers like Hajar are waiting for their turn. Hamilton's situation is similar to Lawson's. One is new, the other has experience. But both serve as a reminder that nothing in Formula One is ever changing.